So I've been sent an olive, like a parachute olive, to copy. So this is just like a little CDC posted olive, and it's for the man who wants it. It's for fishing Loch Cara, he tells me. So what I'm going to do is put on a little bunch of grizzle cock fibres as a tail, although you could also use something like coq de leon or something like that. And then come forward to the point where we're going to put in our post. Now the post is CDC, so what I'm going to do is take several short feathers here, and I'm going to bunch them together in my hand, lining up the tips of them. So 3, 4, 5, depending on what size of a fly I suppose you're tying. This one's actually quite large, it's size 10 B170, but I suppose you can scale this down. So once I have my CDC feathers here bunched, I'm going to pick the point where the hackle post is going to start. I'm going to put in a turn, and then I'm going to hold on to the hook, and I'm just going to pull the CDC backwards until I get the length that I want to stick upwards. Trim those off. And again, I trimmed them back at a little bit of an angle so that I'll get a taper in my body. So now this tuft here is going to be our hackle post. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of turns in front of it just to kick it up a little bit, and then I'm going to get a couple of turns around it to start, and then this takes a little bit of practice, but I'm just going to wind upwards to create a post. Once my post is created, I'll just set it in place with some super glue. Now, fly has a pearl rib, so I'm going to use this here is just crystal hair because it's quite thin, and then an olive body. Now this is a mixture of olive seal's fur and merino wool, and the idea of that is that I blended it to get a colour that I wanted for a start, but the merino wool, when mixed with the seal's fur, will allow you to create a much tighter dubbing rope than seal's fur would alone, and that'll give you a neater body. And we take our pearl rib and rib up that. Now our thorax is like a rusty coloured thing, so again I mixed a variety of different things together. There's some hare's fur, a little bit of synthetic dubbing, again some merino, to get me this sort of rusty coloured thing, and I just sort of figure of eight it around the post, and then when I'm finished with that I just wrap forward towards the eye. And finish that off. And varnish that. So it's time to put on our parachute hackle. You can wrap it like that if you want, but what we're going to do is flip the hook so that it is now straight up and down, and then the post becomes in the same plane as what we'd normally tie on. So a couple of turns just to get our tying thread back on. And the hackle on this one is a Grizzle genetic saddle. A couple of turns just to hold that back. We don't want a big pile of bulk here. And then I'm going to run a bit of super glue on maybe 2 inches of thread and wrap upwards to start off with until I get to a point where I want to start my hackle, and then come back down. Now this super glue here has 2 purposes. One is going to keep that hackle in with very little, because you can't really pull a lot of tension on your post or it'll bend. So it sort of glues the hackle on a certain way, but also it will stiffen up the post. And then we wind our hackle down that, take our tie-in silk and sort of wiggle it through there. I don't want to tie down fibres. Get our scissors in close to the base and nick off our hackle, and then it just remains to finish that fly off. Now I do this by hand usually, so I've put a half hitch in underneath that. That'll keep in place, or you can use these things. So get your whip finishing tool, in underneath that, flip it off, and then this bit that's drawn down, what you can do is coat that loop with a little bit of clear varnish, and then allow it to pull in tight, and that will varnish in place your whip finish, and the fly is complete. Flip it back up. Parachute olive. Right, so I'm going to show you an alternative method of doing the post and hackle. So we tied in essentially the flies, this tie-in is the same, but we didn't wind round the post at the beginning. And I haven't created my thorax yet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to strip a little bit of my hackle, and I'm going to use the very front part of the fly to tie that in on. Then I'm going to hold the hackle and the post up together and put on a couple of turns just to get it started. Now we'll put on the thorax, but in this instance I'm not actually going to tie it off and then tie it back on again on the post. So we'll take our little ball of dubbing, twist it on to make a dubbing rope, nice and tight. Take that up towards the eye first, then come back a couple of turns behind the post, in front, behind, in front, and do that until you just run out of your dubbing. So then we want to put a couple of turns round the post and the hackle, flip that up then, and now super glue that thread and wrap around everything up as far as you want it. Usually a couple of millimeters should be enough. Then wrap on our hackle as before. Trim it off. Get a half hitch in. And as I said, if you want, you can use your hitch tool if you have any idea how to use it. Clearly I don't. A little bit of varnish onto the loop and pull it in. So that's just an alternative way of creating that post and hackle. And in this instance it's probably a little bit quicker, maybe not just as neat as the other method.